Have you ever pondered the ripple effects of a single moment in history that forever alters the course of mankind? Such a moment came to pass on September 11th, 2001, a day that shook America to its core. The morning dawned like any other, but it quickly spiraled into a nightmare as 19 militants associated with the extremist group Al-Qaeda orchestrated a series of airline hijackings and suicide attacks. The targets, the bustling heart of New York City and the nerve center of national defense in Washington, D.C. The death toll was staggering, with 2,750 lives lost in New York alone, 184 at the Pentagon, and 40 brave souls in Pennsylvania who fought back. The unprecedented scale of these attacks triggered an immediate and heroic response from emergency services. New York's police and fire departments rushed to the scene, their ranks suffering over 400 casualties. In the face of unthinkable horror, the world watched as the United States grappled with the deadliest terrorist attacks on its soil. But what was it like for those who lived through this terrifying ordeal firsthand? Imagine a day that started like any other, but in an instant turned into a nightmare. This was the reality for thousands on that fateful day in September, from survivors who narrowly escaped the collapsing towers to the brave first responders who rushed into the chaos. Each person has a story etched in their memory, a story of survival, heroism, loss, and resilience. Take John, a firefighter with the New York Fire Department. He was among the first to reach Ground Zero, the heart of the disaster. In the midst of the smoke and debris, his single focus was saving lives, but the cost was high. Of the hundreds who rushed into the scene, more than 400 police officers and firefighters, including many of John's friends and colleagues, didn't make it out. Or consider Lisa, a survivor from the North Tower. She remembers the confusion, the panic, the desperate scramble for safety as the world around her crumbled. She made it out, but the echoes of that day still linger, a constant reminder of the fragility of life. Then there's Maria, who lost her husband in the Pentagon attack. A phone call was their last goodbye. The pain of loss was, and still is, profound. She remembers her husband not as a number among the 2,750 killed in New York, or the 184 at the Pentagon, but as a loving father, a devoted husband, a man who lived his life with kindness and courage. These are just a few of the countless stories from that day. Stories of ordinary people thrown into extraordinary circumstances, showing remarkable courage and resilience in the face of unimaginable horror. They struggled to come to terms with the loss and devastation, and yet they found the strength to carry on, to rebuild, to remember. Their stories remind us that behind the staggering numbers were real people with real lives forever changed. But how does a nation and the world move forward from such a catastrophic event? The enduring impact of the September 11th attacks extends far beyond the immediate loss of lives. It's a tale of resilience, of a nation rising from the ashes, forever scarred yet undeterred. The attacks fundamentally transformed the landscape of national security in the United States, leading to a significant bolstering of defensive measures. The ripple effects ventured into foreign policy, sparking a shift in stance towards the Middle East and setting the stage for the protracted war on terror. On a personal level, the memories linger, a poignant reminder of the lives lost, the heroes forged, and the unity fostered in the face of such a calamity. Public sentiment towards terrorism has evolved, with a heightened awareness and resolve to combat such threats. The echoes of September 11th continue to reverberate, a stark reminder of our collective capacity for resilience in the face of adversity.